What's up, y'all? I'm Jake Rassick. Welcome back. If you've ever collected retro games before, I bet there's probably a few games in your collection that you've probably purchased that you kind of wonder why you did. At least I know that is true for myself. And today, I kind of want to talk about a few games that I've purchased over the years. I've been collecting games for a while, and I want to talk about some titles that, I don't know really why I purchased them. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So, yeah, let's get started. So, I've been collecting games since about 2012, right around when I was like 5 years old, 5 going on 6 years old. And yeah, it started off when I got my first Game Boy games, and kind of been collecting ever since. So, I kind of got a stack of games here that I wanted to talk about, and I have reference images and gameplay to go with them. And yeah, so first off, one that I'd like to talk about is Forsaken 64. Now, this is a game that is a 4-player sort of party game, I guess. You play as a ship on this planet. It's the Earth basically after a nuclear war, and you're fighting other ships in a 360 deathmatch. It's a really big thing for it, and because you have the stick on the N64. You can have 360 3D environments. Now, I've played this game before on my own. It's very mediocre, and when you're having a single-player experience for a game like this, I get that a lot of what you want out of it is, of course, the party aspect. But even when I have played it with friends, it's really not that good of a game. The stick is the stick isn't very responsive, and I have a new N64 controller, so the stick on mine is perfectly good. That's not an issue here, but it's still very unresponsive. The game doesn't look that good in terms of like the 3D effects. The 3D environments. I get to the Nintendo 64, but it doesn't look very good to me. And that was always some point of contention with me. So yeah, I bought this game really early on in my Nintendo 64 years. It's one of the boxed N64 games that I have, and I kind of don't really know why I bought it. I guess I just wanted to have more games in there, which is kind of a running theme with some of these games. So yeah, that's one of them. Now, the next couple of games that I've got to talk about here are sports games. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just be straight up with you on those. I have 5 sports games here that I don't know why I bought them. For starters, we got Bill Walsh College Football on the Sega CD. Then we got Madden 94 on the Super Nintendo. We got College Football 97, College Football USA. Bill Walsh College Football 95 again. I don't know why I have that twice. Well, it's not really twice. The Sega CD one's kind of different. But I also have Madden 95 and Madden 94. Now, all the Maddens, I should say, on this Genesis, I've got for free. That Sega CD that I bought, if you guys ever saw my Retro Games Pickup video about my boxed Sega CD, I got that at a auction in Indiana for about $150. And those games came with it. They're not very valuable, and I can't really sell them to anybody, so I kind of just have them, and it kind of sucks because they're not very good games. Now look, a lot of sports games, I don't hate on old sports games just to hate on them. I do really like the old sports games from the original Xbox period and up. I love Madden 07, one of my favorite Maddens. But if we're being real, right, a lot of these games were not very good before the 32 and 64-bit years. Like Nintendo 64 and back, other than like the Tecmo Bowl series of games, most of these were not very good. And you can argue that all you want. Most of the mainline sports games like Madden and the NCAA titles were not good games. They just weren't. The technology was just not there. I don't think they should have ever really been made. I understand why, obviously you want to play with, popular sports teams at the time, and, I love sports games myself. In fact, my favorite Xbox 360 game, you could argue it's one of my favorite games of all time, is NCAA 14, because that's on my favorite system of all time, the 360. And so, yeah, that's really kind of just the basics of it. I really don't like a lot of old sports games, and I have a lot of them for some reason. I probably will never buy anymore, outside like the Tecmo Bowls, or like the quirky ones like Mutant Football League. But other than that, that really is no reason to own these. And yeah, so that's that. And before I go on to get to my number one, or I guess not really number one, it's not really the list, but my last game that I regret purchasing, I kind of have an honorable mention because it's one that I don't really like that I have. Like, I don't really like to have purchased, but I bought it early, and I have had a teeny bit of fun playing it with friends, but it's not a very good game. And that's Batman Forever. Batman Forever. Super Nintendo Batman Forever, it's not a good game. I've played it with friends before. It's very slow. My good buddy Luke Daniels, he is, I might have him on the channel sometime to talk about some games or movies, but it's not a very good game at all. I do not enjoy it, and it's just, I guess my thing is it's so finicky. The controls, it's one of those games where the controls are so bad that you can't help but be like, who designed this? Like, did you design it with the back of your pinky finger? I mean, like, where did you come up with these controls? Like, the grappling hook, it's like Mortal Kombat controls. And I get it's made by Acclaim, the same guys who made Mortal Kombat. But it's a beat 'em up. It shouldn't control like that. You shouldn't have to put in special moves and inputs like that. And so I'll never understand why they designed it the way they did. I have had some fun messing around with it with friends. I might look into this game a little deeper sometime, maybe try and beat it or something, but as of now, it's a game that I really am not quite happy that I purchased, but I have had a teeny bit of fun messing around with it with friends, so I can't truly call it a game that I totally regret purchasing. And then on to the final game. This one is the one that I kind of left for last because it is the one I regret purchasing the most. Now, the sports games, Forsaken, sure, there's some redeeming elements in my opinion to it. The sports games, a lot of those I just got by accident. And even the one that I did in Madden 94 on the Super Nintendo taught me, hey, don't just buy random games just to have games in your collection. Buy stuff you like. Now, here's a game that I bought, and it really doesn't have any of those things, going to defend it. It is purely one that I really do not like that I have. I can't even get rid of it because it's not worth a ton. And that's Top Gun on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Top Gun is not a very good game. Now, I know that everybody's seen the AVGN videos from back in the day about how bad Top Gun is, and I don't think those are too overblown. Most of his videos on some of those games are pretty overblown. A lot of the Atari Jaguar games, for example, he talks about in that video. I think a lot of them are okay. I mean, Attack of the Mutant Penguins is confusing, but it's a good game if you ever played it. But Top Gun, this is one of the ones where the outrage is justified. This is a game based off of a movie that was so cool. I loved Top Gun when I was younger. And Top Gun, it's a game, you would think that it should be a shmup or something. It's not. You're in this, like, first-person freaking piloting simulator or something. It's the Nintendo Entertainment System, guys. You are working with 8-bit hardware. Why are you trying to pull off a 3D perspective? I don't understand that. And so every time I've ever played this game, I try, and I've given it a few times. I'm like, oh, maybe it's, maybe there's something I missed. Maybe there's a control system that's wrong. I saw in, one of his AVGN videos, not to reference him too much, but there was a video that I saw about that where they're like, oh, well, you gotta watch the altitude and all that stuff. Don't, forget about what it's telling you to do. And that's fine and all, but that's still really specific. I mean, how are you supposed to figure that out without the instruction manual? And I don't have the instruction manual for this game because I don't care enough. And look, I mean, you can tell me all you want, oh, there's some redeeming factors about it, but it's just not what a Top Gun game should be at the end of the day. It's not, it should be a shmup or something more action-oriented. It's not. And I think simply because of that and the fact that it's also not a very fun game to play, that, it's just a game I regret purchasing. It's my list. I really wish I hadn't have purchased it, but, I was dumb when I was first getting into my NES collection, and, it is what it is, man, so, you live and you learn, and, yeah, that's a game that I really wish I hadn't purchased. Alright, y'all, so that was my games that I wish I'd never purchased. I'd love to know, if you guys have any games like that you've ever purchased that you don't like, that you have, maybe drop a comment on there, hit me with a follow if you want to see more content like this. And, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Y'all take care. Appreciate you watching.